The Supreme Court of Nigeria has delivered a decisive ruling on the lingering leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party (PDP), dismissing appeals linked to the party's disputed convention. In its judgment delivered yesterday, the Apex Court nullified the outcomes of the controversial Ibadan convention, ruling that the process violated established party and legal procedures. The court consequently dismissed the appeal filed by a faction loyal to Tanimu Turaki, effectively invalidating the leadership structure that emerged from the exercise. Speaking at the Supreme Court complex shortly after the judgment, Samuel Anyanwu, who is the national secretary of a PDP faction, praised the court for nullifying the Ibadan convention conducted by a rival group.
Well, like you saw in all the whole headline of all the newspapers, today is the judgment day, and it is an issue that has to do with PDP. And the judges today have spoken in a very strong terms, condemning flagrant disobedience of court, which is more important. And what it means is that the convention, the so-called convention of 15th and 16th of November 2025 is hereby nullified, has no meaning, has been scrapped.
Reacting to the judgment, Tanimu Turaki described the ruling as a sad development for Nigeria's judiciary, stating that court pronouncements are beginning to sound like partisan decrees.
Today is a sad day in the administration of justice in this country. A situation where a court, not just any court for that matter, but the Supreme Court of Nigeria, will raise an issue sumotu, an issue that has not been raised in the grounds of appeal of the parties, an issue that has not been raised in the argument and briefs filed by the parties before the court, and they make that issue the basis of his judgment, without giving the parties an opportunity to address it on that issue, is something that cannot be explained.
Senator Anyanwu called on all members of the party to remain united and respect the court's decision, expressing confidence that the PDP will reposition itself to challenge the All Progressives Congress (APC) in future elections, particularly the 2027 presidential poll.
The party has moved on for a long time. You can see we are already preparing for our primaries. People are purchasing their forms. By end of the May, we should conclude all the primaries, and we are going to participate. So we are now asking those who are doubting Thomases that PDP is back and alive, very strong and healthy.
And your advice for the opposition?
Our advice for the opposition is that they should not be like opposition. There's only one PDP in Nigeria. There's not like faction, factional chairman, or factionalist. There's only one chairman under the leadership of Honorable Abraham Mohammed and all of us. And of course, my humble self, who is the National Secretary of the party, who has so been returned back by the convention, so ahead on the 29th of March. So for us, PDP is a family. We are asking all PDP faithfuls across the country, even in those in diaspora, because we have foreign chapters, that PDP is back. We are one family. And for all our brothers, no victor, no vanquish, just one family. Let's all come back together and ask those who ran out of the PDP, thinking that nobody's going to sign the nomination form. There's still an opportunity. We are still selling a form. Between today and Tuesday, we are free to come and purchase the form of PDP.
On his part, Turaki, while disagreeing with the overall judgment, noted that the ruling also implies that the PDP currently lacks a valid leadership structure. He warned rival factions, particularly Anyanwu's camp, to respect the judgment and refrain from presenting themselves as the legitimate leadership of the party.
However, with the lead judgment, with the majority judgment of the Supreme Court, a situation has now been raised that PDP again is without any leadership. And by affirming the judgment and decision of the Court of Appeal, it means then that the Supreme Court has also affirmed the suspension of those principal officers, specifically Chief Anyanwu, A.J. Ajibade, Bature, and others, whose suspension was upheld by the court. So any act that was done by them in constituting a caretaker committee which contained themselves, and in addition to also cause that caretaker committee to organize the kangaroo convention that elected themselves into a purported national working committee of the party is neither here nor there. It's an action that is done without any basis, and you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand.
In closing, the judgment of the Supreme Court of Nigeria marks a critical turning point in the leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party. While it settles key legal questions, it also leaves the party with urgent tasks for rebuilding internal cohesion and establishing a clear, unified leadership. As reactions continue to trail the ruling, political observers say the ability of PDP stakeholders to respect the decision and work together will be crucial in determining the party's strength ahead of future electoral contests.